I actually had it 9-3. I don't know. You had it what 8-4?
I had it 8-4.
You had it,
but
what?
like I could see 9-3 also.
Yeah, I could see
just like I
9-3.
could see, I could see the other direction because there were so many close rounds that if someone said they had one round going one way or one round going another, okay,
Yeah, you had it what?
8-4, but yeah, I could see 9-3.
yeah, either way, either way.
115, 113. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. In Vegas, Saul Canelo Alvarez against Daniel-Jacobs, right for 3 of the belts at 160. Unanimous decision for Canelo Alvarez. Who wants to get started? Because I'm sure we all have a lot to say.
We'll give our guests the
Lily, ladies first.
Ladies
Me
first.
first?
Sean,
Ladies.
She's deferring to me.
who wants it?
I popcorn, Sean.
Okay. I don't have a lot to say about it actually. I think it was the right decision. I probably had it something like 8 rounds to 4.
Yeah.
If you look at the judges' scorecards, my cards weren't unlike 2 of the judges' scorecards, where they had given Danny the first round, which I did think Jacobs took the first round, and then there was about 4 or 5 rounds that you give to Canelo right in a row, and 1 or 2 of them was really emphatic. I think it was like the 3rd round or something like
And
that.
the 8th was really good.
Yeah, so I think Danny kind of dug a little hole. Like I gave him the first round, and then thought he lost about 5 in a row, and then they kind of went one up for the last half of the fight. But that's too little, too late at that point. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, even though Danny maybe wins 3 out of the last 6 rounds, he still comes up, 4 rounds to 8. So I think it was a good fight. It was entertaining, but there's not a lot of controversy from my perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I think the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but the opposite to the last thing you said. There's always going to be controversy when Canelo Alvarez fights.
What you mean is haters?
Yeah.
Or,
I like to call it conspiracy theories.
and I think it was an amazing fight. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, especially fighting somebody who's fights on the back foot like Jacobs. And I think I was a little, I guess, disappointed in Jacobs because I feel like you already paid. I was at a point when I saw that he paid the money. And I don't think he ever intended on making weight.
Yeah,
However, I'm like, this means this motherfucker's going to unleash on Canelo. Like, he's going to try to bully him. He's going to try to impose his weight. Never happened. And to me, it's like, why not? Like, what do you, you paid all this money just cause? Like, to me, so that was a little disappointing to me, to say the least. However, I also like Canelo's defense. He looked ridiculous with his head movement. Yeah. It was so good. He had Jacobs looking silly at times. Now, I understand why Mexican fans especially aren't fans of that style. They want Canelo to be coming forward. They don't think he did it. Quieren putazos, But I'm getting real fucking tired of this narrative of, well, he didn't look impressive. And if you see ESPN Español a los golpes, it's a lot of, they even interviewed fans that had Canelo gear after the fight and had them say, like, well, they didn't have them say, but they only showed the fans that were saying that Canelo lost, which to me is like, why are you doing that? But nevertheless, I'm tired of this narrative because how are you supposed to look impressive against world-class competition? You're not. I wish people understood that when there's fights that are like legit competitive and they're between top guys, it's not going to be lopsided. It's just like the Triple G fights. I think Triple G won the first, but it wasn't like Triple G dominated him. The second one, I think Canelo did win, but he didn't look dominant. So it's like they're obviously not going to look impressive as fuck against people that are also at their level. So I think I'm tired of that narrative, but also I could understand why people, like I said, Mexicans, they don't like that style. But I did think Canelo won, and I also had it 8-4. And I also, another thing that I noticed from last week's fights and then this one, what's up with fighters going fucking southpaw and orthodox back and forth? I feel like that's not a good thing to do. Like, stick to whatever you're going to do and maybe have a plan B if it doesn't. But I feel like they're just, like, they're trying to confuse Canelo. Like, I feel like he was just trying to confuse Canelo and throw him off his game.
I don't think that works against elite fighters.
And it doesn't work against Canelo because I feel like he's still a counterpuncher anyway. So however stance you have, he's still just waiting on you.
He's still better than you.
And he still has like a better, his hand, that shot that Jacobs landed, that was like he rolled with it.
He rolled with it, yeah.
And that was the same punch that he landed on Triple G, and Triple G walked through it. Yeah. And I love seeing that, like, he just like walked through it. And I can understand why people again say, oh, well, Jacobs in the later rounds, and that stays fresh with you. You remember the last rounds. So I can see how people are like, oh, well, Canelo, he still got caught. This guy was so much bigger. You know, and a lot of people, again, people are like, well, Canelo did that too. He was like a weight bully. And yeah, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like he paid the fine. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of people who go around and say he's cheating. He didn't cheat. I mean, it was a contractual thing in the sense that meaning in normal circumstances, that would not have been a requirement because it's a unification bout. So it was a contractual thing that Canelo decided. Yeah. So it was a contractual thing that Canelo decided to put in there. He paid the fine. Yeah. It's like, it would be like saying Mayweather cheated when he made Maidana use
the gloves.
the gloves. He paid the fine. Maidana got paid like $1 million to wear those gloves.
1.5.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. So like at the end of the day, he didn't really cheat. There was a size difference. He didn't really use it all that much.
But that size difference, though. Did you guys? I noticed that shit right away. Like I'm like, damn, that's a
he was
big.
He was bigger, but he didn't.
I don't know how he makes 160. These guys always get mad at me, but he's a huge middleweight in my opinion. He's Anthony Sims size. Yeah. Anthony told me how much he weighed on fight night, and he was lighter than Daniel Jacobs last weekend. So
but the thing is, I think it's not necessarily. I think that it's not exciting. That's what people get upset about. So it's not.
But that's Daniel Jacobs. She got mad at. She wanted to fight me when I said he wasn't an elite boxer.
Because you said he wasn't a top middleweight.
He said he wasn't a top middleweight.
You said he wasn't a top middleweight. Not that he wasn't elite.
I said top.
You said he's not
top 3, top 4, top 5. He's never been that.
Yes, he is.
According to who?
Me, bitch.
rankings.
No, but
his best fight, he beat Peter fucking
But
Quillen.
okay,
he has a better resume.
aside from his style, I feel that's why I don't think Canelo's gonna take on Andre anytime soon. I think he's gonna wait till next time because Mexican fans can't stand 2 fights back to back tactical Canelo. They would fucking riot.
Yeah.
But
if Canelo fought Andre next and looks, because people are like, oh, he didn't look impressive. Same thing. Who looks impressive against a fighter that's elusive?
But when people say
they give everyone
people wouldn't care if he looked impressive or didn't look impressive if it was a highly entertaining scrap, right? So if you had
Andre
2 guys,
is less entertaining than
no,
Jacobs.
definitely. But what I'm saying is, if you had 2 guys who are having one of these epic scraps that we're used to seeing at like Dignity Health Sports Park, you know, like StubHub Center.
Oh yeah.
If he was having
War
that
grounds.
at the end, people wouldn't complain. It's more because it's all that he didn't look impressive, but also because it wasn't a war. It wasn't this fantastical experience.
I expected a war, especially because of the weight. Again, I'm like, ooh, this guy's gonna give Canelo so many problems for size. Never happened. I'm like, bruh.
Back to Sean's point, that's why I was also disappointed in Danny Jacobs. Like he was too tentative. He took too long to get something.
Too passive.
Yeah, too passive. Maybe through like second round to like the 5th, 6th. I don't know if he didn't want to like show too much, but he gave those rounds pretty much.
That's Daniel Jacobs. When has he showed that much?
And remember in the press, he's like, well, I want to make Canelo look stupid. I want to embarrass Canelo. When did did it look like he was trying to do that? At no point did it look like he was trying to make Canelo look stupid in front of his people.
He also had an excellent fight with Triple G, by the way, though.
Who?
Well, you said what's his biggest fight, and you said he beat Peter Quillen. He basically went up with Triple G.
I definitely agree with Sean.
Yeah.
Meaning
he clearly
was
lost.
But he was competitive with Triple G.
I don't think he clearly lost.
I think he did. Jacobs has never been a top middleweight. I think this fight proves it. I actually had it 9-3. I don't know. You had it what 8-4?
I had it 8-4.
You had it,
but like
8-4.
I could see 9-3 also.
Yeah,
just like I could see the other direction because there were so many close rounds that if someone said they had one round going one way or one round going another, okay.
Yeah, you had it what
8-4, but I could see 9-3.
Yeah. Either way. Either way.
115, 113. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand.
It wasn't that close.
But it's only one round different than me and you.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah. So
there has to be some leniency
Most definitely.
So back to people not being happy with the fight. Again, it's the style that Canelo fights.
It's definitely the style.
It's not people. And me and Chris, we've talked about this. It's we call it casual season. So a lot of these fans tune in only May and September. So they're expecting fireworks, of course. That's what they're used to. That's what they want to see from a Mexican fighter, a proud Mexican fighter. But, Canelo's not,
Not just that. We saw that Canelo had been saying since the press conferences that he never really looked for the knockout, but that he was trying to show other things.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he struggled at the beginning because before he would be like, oh, he's just a weight bully. But he's like, no, like I'll try to outbox you too. Yeah. Just like with the Americano. Of course, that was just, it wasn't, I said it I think before in this podcast, it wasn't a matter of if he caught him, it was when he was going to catch him. But we all saw that he did start going to the body and he's still like same with Lara. with Lara, it's like he was, as soon as he switched to the body, that's when Lara got even more on his bike. So it's like he's still doing trying to adapt, and that's like the thing that I don't think people like.
Yeah.
But even I think he even posted a picture of, he's like, oh, showing new things, right? Show new things, which was head movement, a little better defense.
Yeah.
He's not always. Styles make fights, and you're not gonna fight every fucking opponent the same style.
Yeah.
You're not.
It's fair to say you're a Canelo fan, right?
I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I'm not. I don't want to deny that he's like an elite fighter.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what did you think about Brian Kenny? Because he's taken a lot of criticism. He's taken a lot of criticism.
Yeah,
over
I saw that Twitter people.
They were being harsh to Brian
That's
Kenny.
the main guy from the zone, right?
Honestly, I can't say anything.
For the
'Cause
people
I
that
always
don't know,
watch it in Spanish.
Can you fill us in?
I always watch in Spanish.
So there's been a lot of criticism because Brian Kenny, who's the lead play-by-play announcer for DAZN, was especially favoritive of Canelo Alvarez and his performance, and I think would lead you to believe that Canelo perhaps won, 10 to 11 rounds of that fight based off of the commentary that he was delivering. And I think a lot of people are off-put by it based off of what I see on Twitter and social media and stuff like that. And I'm curious, what Canelo fans think of the Brian Kenny thing. I personally, I thought it was excessive. And I understand it's an incredibly difficult job. You can only see certain angles of the ring. And everybody has personal preferences and personal biases. You cannot leave them aside. You try to as best as you can. But
Yo tampoco te paso.
you
You
have
ever
to.
seen that interview with Floyd Mayweather
Which one?
and Brian Kenny?
I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
It's like Floyd Mayweather came back from retirement, and Brian Kenny was questioning him, "Why are you fighting Marcus?"
Oh yeah.
And then
I
he's
do
like,
remember
again, I'm talking a man of nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned during the fight, I was like, he's riding Canelo a little too hard.
Yeah,
right?
A little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was, right?
Yeah,
a
he
little
was.
bit.
Yeah, that's something.
Okay.
I can see how, like, after all the defensive Goku stuff, but every round, I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, because I mean, Canelo's defense was exceptional.
Well,
we can agree to that, but yes, I do agree that the love was like
I watched
too
it
excessive.
in Spanish, and I gotta say, aside from all the stuff I said about Jesse Vargas, he's an excellent commentator.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
shit, he does
Yeah,
so well.
he's good.
And he speaks Spanish like
Fluently? I never heard
fucking
him.
Yeah.
fluently. Like I was jealous.
He's earning that money.
I was
he's
like,
earning
I was
his contract.
born in Mexico, and I don't talk like that anymore.
I
Just
think
fluently, he's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And they were saying it was close. They're saying, especially the last rounds, they're like, you know what, Canelo has landed the better shots every round, even when, like I think I tweeted this, like, don't let Canelo-Jacobs pushing Canelo against the ropes, distract you from the fact that most of the punches missed, but they were saying like, okay, that might look good for the judges, so it might be closer than we think. Yeah. They were never at any point sucking on Canelo's balls, like not once.
The thing that did it for me is there was kind of an inherent disrespect in who Daniel Jacobs even was. Like he refused to acknowledge that Daniel Jacobs was even a title holder.
Yeah,
right.
Like see that.
He and it's kind of like
Oscar called him a contender in the Spanish show. He's like, oh yeah, well, at KTLA, you know how he does the KTLA in the morning. He's like, oh, yeah, well, this is a big fight. The Daniel Jacobs, the contender, the other guy. And he's like, oh, he's the other guy that contender.
Well, I mean,
he's a champion.
He did win a bacon belt. So.
I'm like,
but like
to
the
put some
extent where
respect on his name.
At the end of each round, when you're saying another round for the champion, and obviously
he
you're referring to
over
Canelo, it's like,
They're both
have a little bit of respect.
He tried to
for
fix
these
it at the
fighters,
end.
man.
Did you catch it? After the fight, he tried to fix it a little bit.
What did he say?
Oh,
He's
I think
like,
he said Sergio Mora gave him a hard time about that. Like he slipped him a note or something like that. But I just feel like it's a little bit disrespectful to what like Danny earned that belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to the extent
I
that
suppose.
It was a majority decision to his defense this time around.
And a bacon belt.
Okay, but I mean the guy put in work, right?
You
we
got
can
it
agree.
this time around, Gio.
I'm just saying. You guys will come around. Don't worry.
The guy put in work, though. I mean, like
guys will realize that sooner or later.
He put in work. He's a fighter. He gets up every morning. He does all this stuff to just kind of lay that level of disrespect down from a guy who's like just sitting at the table going, but you're not a real champion, though. Like,
yeah, that's
I think the first
even
time
if you feel that way, like you can't say that on the
first time he
broadcast.
said it, I'm like, he just called Canelo the champion. I'm like, the other guy
There's
technically is
champions
a
too.
champion too.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I kind of get that point because to me, like I do try to differentiate when I call somebody a champion and somebody a title holder. Because sometimes you just get those bacons. I get that, and I try to say title holder. I do use the phrase champion when they've gotten 2 belts unified, or or if they actually beat the man who had that belt.
Yeah.
So I do try to differentiate that, but Yeah, that's
But
a
he
tough.
was still a champion.
He's still a champion. Yeah, yeah. And you saw the disrespect from when they were doing the 40 days.
Oh yeah.
I guess they had him waiting
in
in
El
Mexico.
Sol, ahí, like,
Yeah, like he was
quemado.
It's like, yeah, I got to show a little bit more respect, man. Like that guy, you know, not just his backstory, but just like,
I mean,
you know,
I thought it was distasteful.
Yeah.
I just was curious what everybody else thought. Because
yeah. But I didn't see it in Spanish, Lily. So that's
Oh,
insightful that you.
I really like. I always watch it in Spanish, always, because remember when you guys were watching the Charlo fights?
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview, and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.